So now we just have the very end of this project to go ahead and finish up. We have a little bit of a flat part, this rectangle, 4 millimeters. It doesn't really seem like it specifies the size of it, but just going to be a little bit smaller than 38 millimeters. Everything on the back end should be nice and easy because it's all uniform measurements, all smaller than 40 millimeters. So the very next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is start off with it appears this last one a line kind of comes up on an angle, at the same height as this. So let's go ahead and just sketch another angle, and then it comes over a little bit, and it looks like it's 4 millimeters over. Now, it should all be about the same height as that area there. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start with the next rectangle. So I'm going to go directly down, select here, and cruise out. So what I did is I started here, went all the way down, left click once, and I'm going to left click again. And again, it should be 19 millimeters or 38 divided by 2 tall. And for my length, it's kind of tough to see, but it looks like it's 54 long. I'm going to click. I have a smaller indented rectangle here that I'm going to make into like a little groove. And I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller just to keep it kind of true to what it looks like. It's really tough to tell how wide or big that is, but it looks like it's call it a 6 wide. And I had 38 divided by 2 minus 0.5. I'm just going to groove it in a little bit and enter. Now I have a little grooved out area there, and now I'm going to go ahead and go back to the rectangle tool. I'm going to select R on my keyboard, flutter between E and T, and I'm going to go ahead and just create another sketch. This one is going to be 34 long, hit tab, and should be 18.5 wide. Actually, it's going to be bigger. It's going to be 19. Select there. So I still have plenty of area back here to finish this part, the back end of the part. I think the overall length is 290 millimeters, and I think I made this line to 300. So still plenty of room here to model this. So the next thing is actually going to be like an angle line into a rectangle. And it looks like this angle line is 2 millimeters wide. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to make a rectangle here. It's too wide, and it's really difficult to tell the size of it, but it looks like it's 34 millimeters. So I'm going to tab. Type in 17, this is 34 divided by 2, and I'm going to go to the line tool. I'm just going to draw an angle there. Now I'm going to hit T for trim. I'm going to trim that out, trim this out, trim it again, trim this out, and I'm going to trim that out. And I'm going to do the same here. Remove all of this stuff I don't need. And I'm even going to remove this line, this line, this line, and that line. So now it should just be one whole connected back section. So now I have this feature sketched in. I'm going to go ahead and get another rectangle tool, and it looks like it's 8 wide at this size. It's tough to tell if it goes up a little bit. You know, you can kind of just do as you please. I'm going to hit 8, and I'm going to go 17.5. Actually, I'm just going to go back to 17 and just keep it that size right there. And now I have this next section here, which looks like the total length of it is 20 wide. So I'm going to type in 20 here. I'm going to tab. And the height is tough to see because it's off the screen. It's going to be 40. So 40 divided by 2 is 20. And then this next section is 36, and it's only 8 big. So 36 divided by 2 should be 18, and it's 8 wide. So now if I did everything correct, this distance here should only be 10. Might be a little smaller. It might be off. So 8.1. I mean, it doesn't matter as long as it's under your 300 millimeters from the front to the very back. So there's probably a couple spots with those angles that are a little bit off, but as long as it fits inside the 300 overall length, we're good. And now we're just going to trim everything up. So I'm going to hit the letter T for trim. And I'm going to go ahead and remove all these inside areas here. Remove this. I'm going to remove this line. And I really no longer need these. Or this line. Because I'm going to hit letter D on the keyboard. I'm going to go ahead and just pull a measurement from here to the very front. And 291 is less than 300. So we have a good part. And our smallest diameter here looks like it's on the front end. And it's 7.5, which is bigger than 6.35. Everything looks like it's bigger. Yeah, this is 9 millimeters. This is 14. So there's no more. And this is 8 right here. So I think everything else works out. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Control S to save it. Now we're ready to revolve this. We're going to revolve this into 2 different pieces. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do a save as. And the very first thing I'm going to do is save as, put my name and front. And the front is just going to be this piece here. So we're going to come over here to create, revolve the front. So the profile is right there. The axis can be anywhere on the center line. Doesn't matter where. So that's why we extended it out there. We just click there, and it's going to revolve it in 360 degrees. As long as you have 360, you have angle set. Or I think you can do full, and it will fully revolve it. It's a new body. We're going to select OK. And I'm going to hit Control S to save this. Now I should have 2 parts. I should still have my other lightsaber project, which I'm going to open up now. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save as again. And this is going to be Sullivan capital back lightsaber. And this feature is going to be right here. So we're going to go to create, revolve this feature around. I don't know why I didn't select. So let's grab this feature. If you can select it, it means you have openings somewhere in your sketch. Like it could be like right here, a small little gap. And if you can't select it, it's because you have openings inside. You don't have a fully created sketch. So now this is going to be the front side. Select OK. And this looks like a legitimate Luke Skywalker lightsaber. I'm extremely happy with it. So now we got the back side done. I'm going to select OK. Now, if you want to see what the whole thing is going to look like, we can go ahead and revolve both features. I'm going to go ahead and open this one more time. Kind of struggling right now. It says opening document. Sorry about the delay here. Now, if you want to revolve this, you can go ahead, create, revolve. You can select both features, and then the axis is right here, just to see what it's all going to look like when it's all done. And if you're happy with it, you can save this too. This is the full lightsaber. This is the front. This is the back. We're going to be working with the front and the back from here. No more of this entire sketch. And we need to make some edits to this. So I'm just going to exit out of this model here, so we just have the front and the back. The front, we're going to make a hole in the front of the feature that we're going to thread. The hole has to be a 1/2 inch. So it's going to be a pretty easy feature to go ahead and make. So we're going to go to sketch. We're going to click here. The first thing we're going to sketch is we're going to make a point. And the point is going to be right on the front center of this. So I don't know why it's really lagging right now. It just doesn't want to go to that front center point. I don't know why. We're going to connect this with here we go. We're going to connect this with a point here, and that's going to be a hole feature. So stop sketch. We're going to go over to create, and we're going to create a hole, and we're going to create the hole face point, and This is going to be the point we're going to select right there. So the whole depth, we're going to go a little over an inch, inch and a half. And so an inch and a half in millimeters is going to be something like 12.7 plus 25.4. So something right around 30 or 38 or 40. So we're going to go full depth of 40. Diameter is going to be 12.7. And we're going to go ahead and hit OK here. This is going to be threaded at a half inch. 1/2 20. We're also going to put in here, we're going to drill it, we're going to tap it, and I think we're going to be in pretty good shape for the other feature to work in right there. But we may also need to make a deeper countersink so that way the parts fit together very nicely. We're going to go ahead and open this feature, and we're going to make a extrusion. So create a sketch right here, and we're going to make an extrusion. So we're going to make a circle with this circle, center point. We're going to go ahead and select here. I don't know why it's selected out there, but I'm going to go back to the circle tool. We want the circle to start there. 12.7 is going to be the diameter. I'm going to hit stop sketch. Flip it. And create extrude. And we're going to go back a distance of 0.875. That's too small for metric, so about 20 millimeters, and we should be good. And we're going to hit join. Make sure you have join selected, and we're going to go ahead and OK. This is going to be a threaded section, and so is this. It's going to be tapped and drilled. So now we have our features. If you want to come back in here, we are going to edit the feature a little bit and do a countersink. And the countersink is just going to be a little bit bigger. Countersink diameter is going to be like 50. Has to be less than 13 or 14, I believe. Or I think it was 15, so we can go 14 millimeter. So we have a little countersink there, so everything fits together nice and neat. We don't have any burrs from the thread. Hit OK, and this is going to be our other threaded feature here that we're going to external thread. So that's how those parts are going to fit together. So after you have everything revolved and created, you are now ready to please save everything by just coming up here and hitting the save button. Hit OK and do the same here, or it's already updated and saved there. So just make sure that everything's saved and everything looks good over here. So just hit the refresh button and your models are updated, and we're ready to start doing our cam operations, which we are going to do all in inches. So thanks for watching the second part of modeling and sketching the rest of this feature out.